What's up? It is February 1, all right, in the morning, 2021, and we're going to continue on with our mission of educating you about really the importance of aging across the world. And today, we're going to go directly into our country here. We're going to look at aging in the United States. Um, Before we do that, we'll do a little bookkeeping. Okay, again, don't forget to highlight, okay, these dates in your calendars. All right, that's why I keep reiterating this, but it's important. We got two midterms, as you see right here. You got these three papers. Okay, February 24th is around the corner. Okay, and I'm going to give you a how-to on how to deal with that. For those of you that are new, you go into these how-to folders right here, and what they do is they explain pretty much everything you need to do to be really successful in this class. This is my uh, former YouTube video that shows you how to navigate the course, and again, how to use Turnitin, how to avoid plagiarism, how to post in the discussion boards, all these different little help missions. Okay, this is your Turnitin receipt and quiz and all these things that you're going to be looking at. Okay. Super important. So if you have any questions, you just click, for example, you had a question about this, you just click on it. I think you guys are pros. And again, the key feature of discussion board is, excuse me, you do 3 in 1, okay? Which means you do one really substantive post where you dive into the content, and then you comment on 3 of your classmates. And in our rubric is, we give it a 1.5. It doesn't reflect the actually percent of the grade that your discussion is. You can find that out in the syllabus. But so you get 0.75 points for a primary post, and then 0.25, 0.25 for the 3 additional posts. And that's just the rubric, so that's the way that works. Okay, guys, so get it going on. All right, what else can we do? Let's see here. Let's just have some fun and games, okay? Because this is a course about us. I'll show you a little bit about me. I went to my Facebook page, and why did I do that? Okay, a couple things right here. So this is your co-instructor and my wife, Julia. And so she has to once a month go down to Morris Cancer Center and get an infusion done. And I thought it was a pretty artistic picture, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's just a sign of the crazy times. So I used to go in where we watch Netflix together, and now I'm not allowed to go. You see, she has her USC sweatshirt right here. See my reflection in the window. So we talk to each other, through the window. And what she does is she gets a boost to her immune system once a month because, sadly, um, her cancer is a cancer of the immune system, and it's the immune system that we need to have to fight off an infection like COVID-19. So she's pretty vulnerable. And anyways, but she's a trooper, and so they pump her up full of antibodies. Crazy. When you get your blood drawn, you and say 30 to 50,000 people that give the red blood cells to surgery patients. But what they do is they actually will spin down just the antibodies. They shuffle them like a deck of cards from 30,000 people, and then they give her a bag. And you can see that bag hanging right here, okay? And it's called intravenous immunoglobulins, and that one bag costs $16,000. Yes, that's our healthcare system, my friends. Anyway, so that's her doing that, and then I wanted to show you right here. This is her, very proudly leaving the Morris Cancer Center, and this is down at UC San Diego. All right, lots and lots of restrictions. She's awesome. She's my everything. So what else can we show you in here? When I'm on my crazy Facebook page, all right? So this happened. Okay, we have an avocado tree in our backyard. So yeah, this is just part one. We're gonna have we can get 800 avos out of this one tree. So that's my dog Bella getting all stoked on the avos. Okay, so that's round one. We'll probably have 3 more rounds. The reason this guy's up, my next door, there's me. Oh, yeah, that's right. Look at that. See, the Band-Aid? It's because I got, what did I get, man? I got vaccinated last Wednesday. I'm so stoked. Through the Athena app, first on, first off. So make sure you sign up. That's in Orange County, so it's a good thing to sign up for that. Just letting you know about that, guys. Okay. What else do we have here? Just let's go back. That's my next door neighbor, head of marketing for Mint Mobile. He's a cool dude. Um, Oh man, you got to check this out someday. It was so huge, and that's what it was like here. So I'm a big time surfer. It's been just like this every single day for about a couple weeks until about a week ago. But that's what the holidays were like. It was beautiful, man. Let me just blow it up here. I just I'm such a surf nut, and we all have our addictions, and this right here is my addiction. So this is a place called Cotton's Point where I surf all the time, and it's been beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I always take photos right before I go out. All right. So, anyways, that's that. Let's go back to our course. Okay. All right. So yeah. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna jump every week. We jump into the weekly assignment. So we're jumping into the weekly assignment. For those of you that are new, this is just a discussion of how to operate the course with respect to the weekly assignments. We've done these two right here, which was kind of global, and now my dog is attacking her squirrel. That's what she does in the morning. It's awesome. Here, I'm going to show you the squirrel. Oh, she escaped the squirrel. It's so awesome. I would not want to be that squirrel. Oh my God. Okay, that's it. You know what they do? They shake the squirrel so they can break their necks. So. Okay, here we go. Let's go into the PEW foundation. All right, it's super super important data acquisition group. Okay. Oh yeah, what else is happening? I'm just gonna go. You can see what time it is. It's Girl Scout cookie time. Support your Girl Scouts. I kind of put these on display over here. All right. Yeah. So cool. Alrighty, so we kind of begin this lecture with a field of science called demographics. Okay, and what demographic is looking at populations. Okay, so what is the best source of looking at populations? We will ultimately you can begin with the every 10 years we have the census that is performed in our country, and you can just really parse out lots of really good data information from the census. Okay, you can also do your own demographic study where you might be asking questions that are more pertinent to your personal interests. Okay, so so one of the first things that we have to do is when we are going to be discussing this, not only to our fellow scientists but just to the general population, we have to be able to define groups. Okay, and you guys have heard I'm a baby boomer, very end of it. Okay, one of the last guys born in that era. Then we have the Gen X's. We have the millennials, like the guy next door. And then you guys. Okay, so this is all about the defining the groups, and then once you define the groups, then you can look at different kind of political and socioeconomic factors that surround those groups as they go through each step of personal development and in aging. So what was the socioeconomic status when I was growing up in 0 to 10 versus the socioeconomic status of the boomer next door to me when he was 0 to 10, and then and guess what? All right, that's our dog. You know what? It's all part of the Zoom, right? Because there's a guy walking around the backyard. Oh my God. I love it. It's live. She's a hound dog. All right, very cool. All right, so let's let's take a look at this here. Let's see how we define this. And that's what this is all about right here. Okay. And you guys read up on this. This is a simple read. So this takes you to the Pew Research Center. Great place to get a job, by the way. And it's all about data. And I don't care what you get into. If you go into fashion, okay, and you come up with all these different concepts. And one of my best friends is the founder and CEO of Sanctuary Clothing, and they have to do data analysis to decide which ones they're really going to promote and market and sell. What are the trends? What's happening? Same thing happens if you guys are a hedge fund manager. You have to do data analysis to understand what kind of equities, which are stocks, that you're going to be buying and selling. What are the trends? It doesn't matter what you get into. Okay, if you go into Hollywood, you got to know what's cool and what's not cool through analysis. All right. So anyway, so this is analysis of population. So this is the author here. So this, as you can see, was done in 2019. All right. So basically 2 years ago, and so they were looking at through analysis of social media and Google and different types of search engines. Um, what do we call you guys? Okay, and for the most part, based on looking over the last 6 years through this analysis, it became up Gen Z. So I think Gen Z is sticking. You can be called iGen, post millennial, but I think Gen Z is what we're going to be calling you guys. All right, and and then you can see right here, so we have this way in our vernacular as we're talking amongst other intellectuals, okay, or just amongst friends. You call the silent generation the people born from this time to this time, and then you see, boom, there's the overlap, and then right here, this is me, the baby boomers, okay, born from 46 to 64. All right, so I was born in 56, okay, right here. So I'm actually right here. 1956, okay? And then we have right here Gen Xers, probably your parents, okay? 39 to 54 right here. And when this study was done. And then the millennials, the guy next door who just turned 40, okay? And then you guys right here, okay? And so then you ask yourself, what happened to each of these people during when they were growing up, okay? But also it kind of pushes agendas. So I was a boomer, and so you know what happened? Every step of the way, just barely in kind of advance of me as I was getting older and older. So from my 0 to 10, from my 10 to 20, etc. So they had to build a bunch of schools because there were so many of us. Okay, they had to build a bunch of schools. It was a major school building period in our country. Then guess what? They had to build a bunch of colleges. So that's when the Cal State system, UC system erupted, to accommodate us. Okay, so that's just kind of one example. You have explosions in neighborhoods and things like that, and it's not just us reproducing, but we'll also later on talk about immigration trends. Okay, so what is happening in your generation? Okay, what's changing there? Well, housing is it's part of your discussion. Housing um, is a really difficult scenario for you guys right now because of the costs, and so you're being shoved to multi-generation homes, and then of course right now with the pandemic, you're really being shoved in it. So this is again just some verbiage on basically what I just talked about. Okay, awesome. All right, so let me get my picture out of the way here. We'll get out of there. All right, and we're going to get back into this. Okay, so now we've kind of defined who you guys all are. Okay. Um, and then we can kind of look at, this is a really cool article about different things that shape a generation. Okay, and again, when you begin to look at these demographic trends, then you can then make lots of business decisions. You can make lots of political decisions about where things are and where things are going. Okay, so here we are. Basically, this is a big deal. So the millennials are going to be outnumbering the baby boomers. Okay, boomers are dying off. Okay, that's a big part of it. Okay, so a target group for your marketing is more likely going to be millennials now. Okay, because they have more purchasing power and there's more of them. Okay, all right. So way before the pandemic, this was happening, and it had to do with cost of living. Okay, and we see that more and more and more and more on a percentile basis of Americans are living in multi-generational homes. And so you gotta look at that and ask yourself, how do you adapt to that? It's during the pandemic, my two boys are home one's from SC, the other one's in grad school at UC Irvine, and luckily we have a large enough house that we can find our separate corners. Okay, but another thing is you can look at the family collective. Okay, and with a multi-generation home, you are financially a powerhouse, okay? Because you can combine your resources, okay? And ultimately, you can purchase multiple homes together, or you can purchase a home together in a really nice area that ensures the grandchildren are going to be going to the best schools. And so these are all these things. We are, the U.S. is a bizarro place, and that most countries weren't like us. But when I grew up, you turned 18, you were gone. Okay, you were independent. This multi-generational thing was not cool. Not cool. It's getting more cool now. Okay, and it's what's cool about it is the caregiving. Right, so you're going to get a job. You may get married, you may not, but if you have kids, somebody's got to watch your kids. Boom, you have built-in sitters at that same household, okay? And then, and then there's payback that comes later on when your parents or grandparents get older. Rather than pushing them off into an assisted living facility, why not adapt your house so that you can return the caregiving towards them? So anyways, these are just raw numbers and millions of what's going on, and it's a big trend. Something to think about, okay? All right, here's the other trend. Um, the number of people getting married, okay, is going down, 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 down. So that's just, people, we got married when I was 31. Okay, is that right? Yeah, 31. Okay, because I was getting my act together, and a lot of people want to get their careers in order, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Um, and other reasons, people just don't get married now. So, what else is happening here? Okay, motherhood was starting to tick up. Okay, for a while. Okay, because forever we had a decline in fertility. All right, but it doesn't mean necessarily that we're doing it as married people. All right. Other trends, okay, immigration, okay. So these are the countries most likely to have immigrants, and it always reflects some type of political unrest, okay. And you see that Syria was the biggest one here in 2017, and it's very political. So we had a big change in immigration here recently. We had the issue of the border wall, we had the issue of the ban on people whose background familial background is Muslim. There was a ban, but now times are changing again. Okay, and again, this is a big deal in terms of the religious composition. Again, the Muslim uh, um, um, cohort had a dramatic decline, and it was very political. And that was why. Okay, certain groups, there was a rise in international immigration. Okay, all right, cool. So again, these are all really interesting trends, okay, that are generational, okay, and they're affecting you guys right now, okay. Okay. As we scroll down here, all right, we then look at this guy. Please, just have fun with this. Go in and play and take a look at this. Okay, so this is interactive exercise, and you look at some of these kind of social differences, and in terms of each generation. Okay, so the way this chart looks right here, so it starts. You see the gray is highlighted in 2017. We can look at race and ethnicity. Okay, of the different types of generations that we've defined. Okay, Gen Xers, millennials. You guys are not in here. Okay, boomers and the silent greatest. Okay, so this is my parents right here. Okay, I'm a boomer. Your parents and the guy next door who's anywhere from late 20s to early 40s. Okay, all right. So what was the composition when they were young? Then you click right here. Okay, all right. So we can see that when they were young, okay, and this is when they were, each of them aged 21 to 36. Sorry about that. Each of these generations, that's what the composition was. Okay, and now we can go look at the composition now. Okay, and we see not a big deal, but let's look at some other things. Okay, how about marital status? Okay, now when they were young. Okay, so you guys see, people don't get married. Check it out. Everybody got married there. The decline. Okay, how about let's look at female education. Right in 2017. Okay, looking at anywhere from some college to a bachelor's degree right here. How about when they were younger in that age group? All right, so that's how it goes back and forth. Okay, how about household incomes? Okay, all right, when they were young. Okay, so that's pretty much the same, right there. A little bit different, a little bit different. Okay, so that's, you just play around with this. It's kind of fun, kind of fun. All right, so we can see here from, as illustrated in that interactive graphic, we see right here that today's young adults, okay, the guy next door, okay, are much better educated. All right, so people are going to college. Before, it used to be a unique thing to go to college. I was the only one in my crew of friends that went to college. I was. All my other buddies did other things with their lives. But now we look at each generation. My parents, me, your parents. and the guy next door, okay? And we see that especially in women, there's been this huge increase in college education. Okay, women are much more independent. All right. Again, this is the definition of the generations that we went over before. So pretty cool stuff. Really cool stuff. And that's how you play with that, my friends. Okay. All righty. So now let's go down. Again, I highly recommend that you open the quiz. And I should have said that before, but you open the quiz and then you do the readings. Okay. And then this is what comes down to you, man. This is what I'm talking about. So we're looking at generations, and what issue is hitting you, hitting the millennials, and it has one of the big ones is housing affordability. So I want you guys to think about this and the shaping of generation. So this right here looks at the slump, okay, in terms of the percent of people that can purchase homes, okay, all right. So the share of American real estate by each generation. We bought in early. I bought this house for 430. It's worth 1.5 million now. All right. So there's no way I can afford this house now. All right. So it's just timing and luck. Okay. But we bought in early. So the Generation X, right here, your parents is doing better. The millennials are having a tougher time, and you guys will have a tough time as well. Okay. And we see that housing prices are just skyrocketing like that. So I read that over, do the discussion. This is a super cool website about housing in America. So I click it right here. What you do, if you ever have an assignment that is looking at this, you just download the report right here. There's other aspects of data that you can acquire here. We can look at income inequities in older Americans, the cost burden. Okay, it's a cool graphic. You just click right there. Okay, and it shows it up by age groups. Okay, so you can play with this and look at for age over 65, the cost burden. We see the share of the households with a significant cost burden that is defined. Okay. And then if we click here to renters, you see the renters are always doing far worse, and owners do far better. Okay. How about over here? Okay. Renters, boom, boom. So it's kind of interesting like that. All right, guys. So do well, be safe. Okay. And I will see you guys next week, I believe. Maybe we'll get some surfing in. What do you think? That would be awesome. All right. So I'm going to end it right here. Peace and fight on.